Too funny.
I got cold when Jack back on. Are there specific agencies that you deal with, daytime versus primetime?
It mostly depends. There's a lot of agencies that don't submit. I don't know if there's still a stigma of like, oh, it's soap operas, we don't want our actor on that kind of a thing. But if that is something that you as an actor want to do and you want to pursue, I would say talk to your representation about that, see if it's something that you're willing to do. I think it's a great training ground for everybody. But I understand it's not for everyone. So some people don't want to, some people do. But there are certain agencies, that don't submit to us. There are certain people that I have to call and ask for bails on, and they go, what show? Sometimes too, like people have started off doing Primetime and then got into the soap world, and they have been with that agent for forever. So you're right. There was somebody who I called and I was like, hey, we want to ask an bail on this person, and then they were totally shocked. They were like, what are you doing at the Bold and Beautiful? And I was telling them my story, and I was like, if you ever had anybody, who might be interested, by all means, he's like, no, I don't ever submit on soaps. And I'm like, okay. Some people that's not their trajectory.
Okay. So,
yes.
So a little birdie told me somebody pulled a gun.
Audition scenes have props. And if you were bringing a prop into there, I don't care if it's an iPad. Just tell us beforehand, before you go into the audition. We're not gonna be like, oh, why are you using that? I've seen auditions before where nobody used a prop except for one person. The person that did it actually really helped with the scene that they were doing. And then I've seen it where it's been terrible. I was one time auditioning somebody, and it actually was a scene that I didn't know. They were just doing like a showcase thing, here's my scene. And in that, they pull out a gun and he pointed it at me. And that was terrifying. I'm pretty sure most casting people have that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or I've even had people just use their phone and it looks like they're gonna throw it at you. And you're like, oh my God, like what's happening? So just be mindful of people, especially if they're not aware of what's going on in the scene. Or even if we are prefaced, like, okay, you're mad because your husband slept with, your best friend. That doesn't mean at all to me that there's going to be a gun showing up. So I always need to be prepared as to like what's happening in the scene. Because at that point, I pull up. I'm not paying attention to you anymore. I don't care. I'm thinking, oh my God, there's a gun in my face. Or they're going to or there's a phone in my face. There's something at me and I don't know what it is. It pulls me out of the scene. That's the last thing you want for somebody who's in casting.
Yeah, don't do that. No. Do you and Christy both go through the breakdown and pick people?
Yes.
Bring in everyone.
We usually bring people every week.
Okay. In sessions, are you both in there?
Yes.
Are you reading or is she reading?
It all depends. She feels like reading that day, cool. She doesn't, I read. Or if it's more than one character in a scene, then we'll each do a character with the other.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
that's
we do
friendly.
2 eye lines to look at instead of just one person.
Conference after each person? Or you like make your notes and then talk at the end?
We usually do. We have like a little 2-minute or 30-second, like, what'd you think? I don't know, I didn't really feel it. I'm like, I felt it. The one thing I like about my office is that we don't wholeheartedly agree on everything. We kind of push each other. And we're like, I thought we did good. I don't really like it. Okay, let's revisit. Let's check that back. Let's see what other contenders we get, and if not, then we'll bring this person. And so sometimes you work in an office where you all have the same idea, the same vision, and that's great. But But sometimes you're missing things, or you're not opening up yourself to other things. And so that's what I love about both of us working together is we both see things differently. And we'd be like, let's give this a shot, or let's try that. And sometimes we'll be like, that was a big fail on my part. FYI.
And is it just the 2 of you?
Yes, we are the whole department.
Okay. Whoa.
Yes.
Crazy. What about self-tapes? Do you guys do self-tapes?
We actually don't.
Yeah,
we don't do self-tapes at all. We have had a few instances where somebody had used a scene that had a character's name in it, and they realized that.
And the tape got out there.
It got out there. It was not a password protected self-tape. Yeah. And for our shows too, because we are in daytime and we do so many episodes, we don't fly people out here to audition or to move out here. We need you to be local to do it. The best way I can describe daytime is it's like live theater on steroids.
Ooh, okay.
If that helps. So you're doing live theater, you're doing it 2 or 3 takes, and then you're moving on to the next thing. And it's finding that emotional beat within all of those and continuing the storyline that you're pushing forward. So
you guys also have a super quick turnaround. So if somebody even got the sides somehow and wanted to take and send it in, you guys wouldn't even look at it. But you'd probably beat the roll already pretty quick by the time you do that.
And they'd probably be blacklisted.
Oh, they'd be blacklisted.
Yes.
So
do not do that.
Do not do an unsolicited self-tape for them.
For us. Other shows have other reasonings and whatnot. Beautiful do not.
What about if they're called in but can't make the audition and then want to self-tape?
We usually will say, let us know what their availability is, so we'll come back and revisit.
Okay, so you don't want to self-tape even then either. Okay.
No, there are like the few occasional like, okay, go ahead and self-tape, we're still in a preliminary moment. But like there's a whole confidentiality notice I put with that about where to do it, how to do it. And that's something very specific that, especially for us in daytime, is if I'm asking you to do that.
Yeah.
Yes. 90% of the time I will not ask you to do that.
Do you have any pet peeves of your own?
Mine.
I'm her pet peeve.
These are my pet
do not have me when you see her.
Terrible. Do not, for the love of God, wear perfume or cologne. Obviously take a shower.
Don't wish. Showers are useless.
Yes. Usually when you're coming into a room, there's cameras and lights already set up. And those lights magnify every scent that you have on. As someone who's really, really bad at allergies, and I had several bosses who had asthma, terrible idea. And then, we come and get hugs, and then it's stuck to our face, and all I can do is taste perfume all day. Not my thing. It's coming into a room prepared. And for everybody, that means kind of something a little different. For us, especially in daytime, it's trying your best to be as close to 100% and off book with the words that you have. But mostly, like, you can hold your pages, you can have them in your hand, you can refer to them, but I need to see you, and I need to see you as that character. And so by you going like this the entire scene, or just kind of going up and down, I'm not getting any aspect as to what the emotional, oh God, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
What the emotional aspect is of the character. Don't try, if you're going to a office, this is for daytime and primetime, that is on a lot where they have to call you in or whatever, or give you a drive on, do not drop off your headshot. You coming to my office as a reason to come and meet me and drop off your headshot, not good enough for me to give you a drive on. I will deny you, and they will not let you on the lot. That's just a typical thing. Our days are busy. And I think with any office, even if you are dropping off something, do it very quickly. And wrongly. Yeah. That's exactly it. Sometimes people want to carry on conversations, and I may not look busy, but in my mind I've got 400 things going on, and I'm being nice, I want you to feel welcome, but at the same time, there's just so much going on, I can't focus.
Okay. If someone wants to get into daytime, is there something specific they should be doing differently, or is it the same kind of thing you would tell any actor that's starting out?
I still think it'd be the same type of thing. Obviously memorization is key for us. It's knowing your character. This is really dorky. Don't get tattoos. Tattoos, your makeup team will smile and nod, but they will hate you. It makes your call time an hour to 2 hours earlier than it should be.
Or at least if you're gonna get them, make them hidden.
Right,
like
make them and not exactly. Like, there's always a possibility of you, say, doing a sex scene where guys would be shirtless or whatever. So then, yes, they will cover those tattoos. But like, this would not be good, just saying. Like having it right on your forearm like that. It's hard to do. Or if you do have tattoos, find a makeup artist and have them teach you how to do body makeup. And such a way so you could, And obviously be honest with the casting people when you come in and let them know that you have tattoos. Like, it's actually a question on our card that you fill out when you come in is if you have tattoos, because then we have to just let our makeup team know that, hey, this is something we're gonna have to add on.
Right.
One of the characters on our show, he was fully covered on his chest and part of his back. And so whenever he had love scenes, it became okay, we gotta call you in way earlier and do this whole thing. And it became a whole thing, but we were able to work with that because he was a contract person, So it's not gonna stop you.
Question. These are all questions. When you are bringing in people for contract roles, do they have to have a certain amount of credits, a certain resume? Like, I know you said you like to take chances on new people, but is the chances kind of thing more for like an under 5 or a principal versus like a contract? Like sometimes, like some offices, like in order to come in for a co-star, you could either have you have to have had a co-star before or a couple co-stars, or they take a chance on you for that. But a guest star, you have to have a bunch of co-stars or some guest star credits and recurring, you kind of like climbing the ladder like that. Is it the same way?
It's depending on the role that we're looking for. But even so, I mean, we've had some people who've stepped in either because they've had a history on the show or a history in daytime itself. It's just been like, okay, you're fine, we'll hire you kind of a thing. Some people have not had a history with daytime whatsoever, but they've had several guest stars and things like that. And then there's several people on our show, usually the younger kids, children, who this is their first real big thing. thing.
Yeah.
No, a lot of the younger people on our show, this is their first major role. Sometimes some people have been done co-stars before, you know? It just depends on what they bring to the table.
There's 2 roles. And let's say they're pretty similar roles, but
Okay.
one is an under 5 and one is a principal.
Okay.
And maybe they're in different episodes. And somebody submitted for both. What would make you call them in for one versus the other?
That's a good question. I guess it would probably be probably looking at the resume
Yeah.
and seeing what their level of extent is. We would probably, because we've done this before, is we've called in people for under 5s. And if one ends up being upgraded or, you know, like we have our choices of who we want for the under 5, and then seeing people and their quality of work and saying, hey, they could actually be the principal. This one, and we'll have this other person be the under 5 in this one. You know, so it's kind of like, if you want to say your expectation's not so high, is coming in that you might be okay with getting the under 5, but you also might get bumped up to principal. You know, it's the same thing too. It's interesting because, being in daytime, I will go out with the extras, and sometimes as an extra, they'll have a moment where, you know, people are walking through and somebody has to say something. And so you might get upgraded from being an extra to an under 5. That's something I look out for extras is how serious you are, how committed you are, that you show up, that you have not a huge extensive wardrobe, but a wardrobe that's workable for office settings, things like that. And somebody who I could, if my director calls me and says, hey, you know, this scene, there's a part that's not working and I might need an extra to say something, I'll be like, I will let you know which person I think could do it. So that's one of the big things that happens on our show as well, is that there's always an opportunity, there's always a possibility of things getting bumped up.
So you say you cast all the extras.
Correct.
How do you cast them?
I know. I have no clue about any of it. There's a few different things that I use. One is I go to Actors Access and I put out a breakdown and ask for anybody who's looking to be an extra, and I tell you the rate.
And anyone can submit for that.
Anyone can submit this. You don't have to be union. You don't have to have reps. None of that. Our show is a union show, so after you do 3 episodes, you would have to join the union in order for me to use you again. But if
you reuse people a lot.
I do. I kind of keep like my office people in certain offices the same and things like that. And then I like to throw in new people and stuff and kind of see how they are. And then I always talk to my wardrobe people and stuff, and and my stage managers, you know, how were they? Did they show up on time? What's going on? To see.
And that's how you decide who could be up for a while.
Exactly. And see how consistent they are and how hard they work.
You're hiring the extras the day before for the next day?
I try and do it further in advance. I am not a last minute person.
Yeah.
It drives everybody nuts. We usually have our weekly meetings on Thursday, so I tell my extras, send me an email around noon on Thursday, let me know what your availability is for next week. And then I go through with the extras and, I figure out, they want 2 extras in this scene and 3 over here. And then I kind of go through and I fill out who I think, and then I see who sends me the emails and who's available those days. And they're not available on Tuesday, I'll put them on Thursday, then I'll switch this person over here. And then I reach out and see if people are available. Usually I try and let you know how many episodes you're doing, because we shoot more than 1 episode a day. You sometimes can get more than 1 episode as an extra.
Do you get paid per episode? Or?
Yes, you get paid per episode.
Well, that's nice. You get 2 paychecks in a day.
Very true.
Oh wow, too late for that. Sorry, I was checking myself out in the mirror. Extras, yes.
Extras. So yes, as an extra, seeing your work ethic as an extra is something I really look forward to. It allows me to even say, like, I would suggest you to another show if somebody, is looking for a very specific type of extra. I do work closely with Y&R, but not entirely with them. So we keep in touch with each other quite a bit.
You guys in the same building?
We are. We're down the hall from each other.
Oh, hi Greg.
Hey Greg. No, so doing extra work is great. Like I said, I get to represent Los Angeles doing that. And we hire all different types of people for that. Yes, of course, they would like a certain type and a look because of the show we're on. But we do a lot of different scenes and settings where, like, if it's a flight, the different people in the scenes, they'll want, if you want to say normal looking people, I have to look for that, depending. Even I know there was a whole storyline years ago at Union Rescue Mission in downtown LA about being homeless. And so there's all different people to look for, and different ideas. I had somebody come to me the other day and he was like, yeah, I got this buddy, he's got this big biker beard. And I go, you know what? Have him send me his headshot. I don't know. I can't say that I would never use him because I don't know where our storyline's going, but I'd like to have that as an option.
Any advice for actors?
It's one of those. In acting, I always say if there was a formula to getting everybody a job, I would give it out because I think everybody deserves to have that opportunity and that chance. But I think that you giving it 110% is the best thing that you can possibly do. It's showing up on time, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of who you are as an actor in that moment, paying attention to the scenes, and paying attention to the people that are there with you. One of the things that we like to do is ask people about themselves. And it kind of catches people off guard. They're like, wait, what? What do you want to know about me?
In advance?
So yeah, so if anybody in the room is asking you, they genuinely want to know about you. Again, whether how it may play into the script or into the scene, but even so, how you may be on set.
What makes somebody stand out in the room for you?
I would say it's the same thing in daytime and prime time, is somebody who owns it. They, if you
Own it.
If you go a little bit bigger than you should, it's easier to pull you back than it is to try and give you more energy to get to where you need to be. So I always say kind of err a little bit on that, but also be mindful of it. If you're a doctor, like you don't need to do a William Shatner audition. If you're doing these things, don't go super off the crazy end. Our show itself is actually really based in reality.
Yeah.
So we want like normal conversations and things. You have some of the other soap operas where it's like all about the mafia, like ghosts and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more out there. Ours is very much centered in reality. So.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, do you like keep it grounded in real versus like Disney?
Yes. No. Keep it grounded and real. And like I said, there's a way to get it a little bit more excited. Even in our room, there's no need to scream unless it literally says scream.
Right.
Paramedics, we have those kind of roles where you're kind of yelling things back and forth to each other, but like you're yelling, not yelling.
Best audition you've had and worst audition you've had?
See, the terrible thing is I don't remember the best ones. The best ones are like where you come in and your take on a scene is just ever so slightly different, or there's some understanding that you get from that scene, and we'll be like, where did that come from? And they'll be like, where it was going, or just you're paying attention to the words that you're saying.
Right.
You're not just reading words. You're not just taking it at face value. You're realizing there's a history. That's another thing too. Soap opera, Wikipedia. Look up the history. That even if it's all dummy characters and things, you can at least figure out the tone of the show by watching an episode and by reading Wikipedia and realizing all the different families that are involved and connecting with that. And it shows. It really shows that you've given a history to your character when you come in and you work with it. The worst.
These are fun.
Okay, so
Too many to choose from?
No. Luckily, no. No, this one just sticks out so terribly. It was great. So I was not in the room, but I'll explain the whole story. So I was in an office where one side of the office we worked on certain shows, the other side worked on another show. And that side they were doing a session, and it was the assistant and the associate were in the room. And somebody leaves, and all of a sudden I hear the associate like dying laughing. And she comes over to me and she's like, Rachel, I need you now. And I'm like, what? So I go into the room, and in our room, on the wall, is a spray of blood all the way up to the ceiling.
Oh my god.
Wait, I already know this story because I've told this story
on here before.
Oh no!
Because I know which office this
is. Like, I just looked like horrified, like, what happened? Now, mind you, the scene that they were casting was like a co-star.
Right.
It was a doctor in an emergency room, and he has to yell, quick, she's coding, code black, I need a paramedic, or something like that, okay?
And he took like forever to say the line.
A minute and a half to say those 3 lines. And during that time, he had a blood pump under his shirt and decided to squeeze it, which never happens, and sprayed the entire wall of our office.
Yeah. I've told this story on here before. You guys remember?
It was hilarious and mortifying all in the same moment.
Any other last minute things you want to say or talk about, or tips or tricks or mix or
No, I think I'm good. I think that's all of it. If there's anything else that you guys think of that
if you guys have any questions or any follow-ups you want to ask, like leave me a comment in the things below.
Perfect.
Let me know, and I'll maybe follow up with Rachel.
Yeah, that'd be great. Obviously I love talking.
Yeah.
But I also love imparting this knowledge that not many people have.
And especially because, this is a whole other beast that I know nothing about.
Right.
It's great to learn about. And I'll put all of Rachel's Instagrams and all those things if you guys want to like follow her or whatever.
Totally.
Blah, blah. And if you have follow-up questions, let me know. And thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Skyler, for taping.
Yes, Skyler.
And I hope you guys like it. And I'll catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.